So I thought they would wait until Pokemon Day to make this announcement, but just a few days ago, very late into the night, around like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. when I was sleeping, it seemed like Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen started appearing in the coming soon section of the Nintendo eShop. And a lot of people started going, well, it looks like somebody might have messed up and put the games up early because this definitely seemed like it was supposed to be in the Pokemon Presents that's going to be happening for Pokemon Day to celebrate the anniversary, but it may have actually been intentional because just a few hours after that, the official Pokemon accounts dropped the trailer, they dropped the announcement and everything, and then it seemed like it was just official that, yeah, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green are in fact officially coming to the Nintendo Switch like what was heavily rumored. And sticking to tradition with every Pokemon announcement past 2019, this has also created a ton of controversy, with so many people just all over the internet arguing back and forth about whether or not this is good, if this is worth it, if you should like this or not, and it's just chaos everywhere. And I didn't really want to make any posts on social media or anything about it because no matter what I say, there's gonna be people that get angry, but I did want to make this video here for you guys because I do want to talk about exactly what these games are going to be like, what you're going to be getting, and then also share with you guys my thoughts on the whole situation. So firstly, these are in fact exactly the same Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green games that came out in 2004. There aren't any new additions that are added into this version of the game. There isn't like any updated features or quality of life changes. You are getting the exact same game that was available on the Game Boy Advance. In fact, they're doing like a special collector's version in some regions where you get like a cool Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green figurine, and then they give you codes to play the games on the eShop, and somebody actually managed to get one of those codes early, and by putting that in, they actually are able to play the games before the official release on Pokemon Day, and from that, we know now that you are essentially just getting the ROM of the game as a download, and it doesn't even come with like any emulator features or anything like that, so you're not getting like save states or being able to fast forward or rewind or anything like that. So it is literally just the exact same game that you would be able to play on a GBA right now, but just on your Nintendo Switch. So why has this created so much controversy? Well, the first thing is that these games are actually going to be standalone releases and are not a part of the Nintendo Switch Online service. So I'm sure you guys know that the Nintendo Switch Online gives you access to like classic and old school games, and we do have the Game Boy Advance as part of like the expansion pack tier where if you pay like the $50 a year for the membership for it, you get access to GBA games, but Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green are not going to be a part of that. Now, I'm sure part of this is because the Pokemon Company wants to sell them individually so that they can make more money for themselves, but I also think that a part of it is because of like the Pokemon Home compatibility, which it seems like that is going to be something that they're going to announce for it on Pokemon Day, because that was actually something that was listed on the Nintendo website as a part of these games, but then it was removed. But I'm pretty sure that there is going to be like Pokemon Home compatibility where like the Pokemon you catch inside of these games, you will then be able to transfer them into Pokemon Home and then bring them into like the Gen 10 games or whatever future Pokemon games have those Pokemon. So I'm sure that that's going to be a part of it, and if it was part of like the Nintendo Switch Online app, maybe it wouldn't have been able to connect to it or something, so that could very well be a reason. But the biggest thing that people have been complaining all over about this is that the price of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green is going to be $20 for each version on the Nintendo eShop. And so we've got the two sides of the internet where one is going like, you know, $20, that's not that bad, I guess I'll pay for it, I do want to play this game and I'm gonna buy it. And then the other side going like, this is terrible, how are they selling a 22-year-old game for $20? They're scamming you, they're ripping you off, you should be ashamed for buying this, you can emulate the game right now. So it's created a ton of backlash. And if you guys want my thoughts on the situation, it really comes down to three things for me, and that is, I don't care. If you want to spend $20 to have Pokemon Fire Red or Leaf Green on your Switch, that is fine by me. And if you think that the Pokemon Company is overcharging and these games aren't worth it for $20, that is completely valid too. The thing that social media and the internet doesn't understand is they're all fighting over who is right and who is wrong, but that answer doesn't exist. Otherwise, I would tell you, like if there was a right or wrong answer, I would tell you, you should do this, but there are valid reasons for both sides. There's valid reasons for why somebody might want to spend $20 to buy these games on the Switch, and then there's also valid reasons for why you shouldn't do that either. I mean, I've said it before, but there are a lot of people who have never played Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen, and it makes me feel super old saying it because those were literally some of the first Pokemon games that I have really good memories of playing, but there's a lot of people who grew up playing Pokemon after like Pokemon X and Y, or their first games are like Sun and Moon or Sword and Shield, and like they've never played these older Pokemon games, and they really want to have a chance to experience like some of these older retro games now and kind of get a feel for what Pokemon was like back then. And kind of off topic, but I can't wait to see these people learn about like how HMs were like and how you could only use TMs one time and stuff, and that's going to be a whole crazy thing to see, like a whole new generation of people figure out these things like no EXP share and all of that, and how like a lot of these old school Pokemon fans grew up playing the games. But yeah, there is a lot of people who've never played these games, and so for them, paying $20 to have access to a Pokemon game that they've never played before, that is definitely something that might be worth it for a lot of people. And the other side that's mad about this is saying stuff like, well, you can get these games right now. You can just download them online right now and play them on an emulator. You can get an emulator on your phone. You could play Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen right now, so why should you spend $20 and give that to the Pokemon company when you can already play the game and experience everything that you need to? And that is true. But there's also a lot of people that don't like emulators or just don't want to set an emulator up or don't care. Like, there's a lot of people who just want a very simplified experience of just like, well, the game is on my Switch, I can dock it and play it on my TV, I can play it in handheld mode, and that's all I gotta do. Now, emulators are easy to set up, it's not super hard, but some people just don't even want to do that. They don't even want to download an emulator, tweak a little bit of the settings to make it look good, and just play the game like that. They don't want to have it like at their desk and have it on a computer, and some people don't like the touch controls that appear on a phone. So there's a bunch of valid reasons. Like if you want to play with an actual controller and have buttons and just have like an actual system in your hands, then yeah, that's also a reason why somebody might just want to buy this on their Switch. And so it's really up to you. If you want to buy Pokemon FireRed or LeafGreen on the Switch, you do that. And if you want to skip out on these games, you can do that as well. If you are wondering about whether or not I'm going to buy Pokemon FireRed or LeafGreen on my Switch, if you guys saw the predictions video that I had for the Pokemon Presents that I uploaded recently with my friend Ruffled Rowlet, there was a section in there where we talked about the rumor of Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen coming to the Switch, and that was recorded like before the news came out officially, so we didn't know anything about like the prices or anything like that. But in that video, I did say that my maximum tolerance that I have for the price of these re-releases is $15, and that is the most that I would be willing to spend to get Pokemon FireRed or LeafGreen on my Switch. And so now that these games are $20, I feel like I'm still going to be sticking to that. Like right now, I already have Pokemon FireRed on my hacked 3DS. I could get it on my computer if I want to emulate it. Like, I still have ways to experience that game if I really want to play it. But then again, I also did have one of my IRL friends who was kind of happy about this because he can play Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen, and he was talking about how like there is going to be like local trading still, like with like other Nintendo Switches, and he was like excited to finally have like an Alakazam because he could like trade it with me and have like Gengar and these Pokemon that we could never get as kids because we never had like the little adapters that we needed when we played like Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen on our GBAs. So he was trying to tell me like I should get it so that we can trade. I told him I don't really want to spend $20, but he was trying to tell me that he might even buy the game for me. So I don't know, maybe if he does that, I'm not really going to complain about getting a free game. So maybe that'll happen and maybe I'll get it like that. But at the end of the day, I'm not really in like a super rush or anything to get these games. I played them like 10 or 15 times at this point. I played them so much as a kid, so I pretty much know them inside and out. I'm not really in a rush to get them on my Switch, but for a lot of people who never experienced them, maybe it might be worth playing it, and especially just having it on your TV, some people might want to play these games on a bigger screen. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely be sure to click that like button and also subscribe to the channel as well. I'm definitely going to have some more Pokemon videos, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Comment down below and let me know what you think about this. How are you feeling about Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen on the Switch? Are you going to be getting it? Are you going to be skipping it? What are your thoughts about everything? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. But if you don't have anything to say about it, just comment your favorite emoji down below for some engagement. I would really appreciate it. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.